Come on, you liked this last year. Guys, come on. So we are on our way to Valencia right now to pick up some flooring for the yurt. After finishing the yurt in January, we had been weighing up our options for the flooring which we wanted to put down over the bare OSB. We felt like the yurt deserved natural wood to fit with the feel and quality of the rest of the materials, but that was looking like a very expensive option until we found an outlet offering cheap surplus flooring left over from big jobs. There were a few colours to choose from, but you had to buy the whole palette, and there were all sorts of different amounts, but we were lucky to find the perfect colour for our floor in a quantity that would work.
Creo que sí.
Papa with the wood. So yeah, this is obviously not enough wood for the whole yurt, but we just brought back 6 boxes because it's super heavy and they're gonna deliver us the rest. But we've got enough to get started with and figure out how it's gonna go. I think we're gonna start from the door, right? I think it has to go that way around. Otherwise it just...
What?
I think it has to go like this way around. Yeah, but when you come in and you see the stove and stuff, like...
Yeah. So 61 is the middle.
It's Papa's method. That doesn't look right. That does not look right.
But no, there's a way. There's a way. It's like the perpendicular to that line. Yeah, it is. It is. Like that and like that. I don't know what the word is in English. In Spanish it's embellecedores, like beautifiers. But I don't know what it's called.
Trim?
Trim? Yeah, trim.
Yeah.
For the doors and the windows.
Which we never put on. Sort of forgot about it.
Yeah. I don't care
I think they look
that
alright.
much. Like it cares. Like it looks fine because it's all wood and. But since we have it, we might as well use it.
Sandy, can you bring me that little chair?
No, I don't have enough wood to do another cut, but I could try to like.
I bring Mauro. Jump over there. Right. That one down.
I'm not really proud that I have to do this. I would have preferred to do like good cuts, but given the tools and the space that I have, I've seen carpenters do this, and once this dries, I'm gonna sand it and I'm gonna paint it this color. So
Or oil it or something.
yeah.
Yeah. You may have noticed in the back of some of the shots just now a set of solar panels kind of lying around on the ground. They're actually the panels to power the yurt. If you are wondering what those were doing there, they have arrived, and my friend made a custom steel frame for them at 45 degrees, which is the angle they need to sit at. We are in the very early stages of building a breeze block garden shed. It's going to have a flat roof, and then the panels are going to sit on top, up out of the shade. So yeah, that's a very exciting project that is in progress, and I will tell you more about that as we progress more with it. But in the meantime, I just wanted to mention a very small possible change of plan that we might be having, and that comes on the back of Vito Man launching a new, very small, lightweight model of portable power station. It's actually coming out in the next few weeks, and they're kindly going to send me a box to test out, and I will decide and tell you more about it. But yeah, it is a simplified, lightweight version, perfect for people maybe looking to power smaller spaces or run smaller devices. It can provide up to 400 watts or 800 watts at a surge, which is absolutely fine for running multiple devices like a laptop, lights, tablets, even charging some devices simultaneously, even running, I think, a laptop and an extra screen we calculated would be fine, and that is exactly the sort of thing that we want to do in the yurt, so it's perfect for that use case. It still has the AC outlet, USB-A, USB-C, it can still be charged in a number of ways, and it still has the jump start. It's just considerably smaller and easier to move around. I can see a lot of use cases for something like this. My friends, for example, they have a Jump 600, which I think is like the smallest one on the market at the moment, powering specifically their shower. And to be honest, something like the 400, something even smaller and lightweight and more affordable, would be perfect for that sort of situation. Very specific use cases. So yeah, with the boxes, we might actually put that one in here, but I will make a decision and let you know more details once we receive it and try it out. Good morning. Today is a very exciting day because we have two exciting deliveries coming. Well, one of them's actually not that exciting, it's just the remainder of the flooring for the yurt, so that's arriving, and then also our furniture from the UK is arriving. So 5.5 years after leaving the UK, we finally got our furniture shipped over because we now have the yurt and we have somewhere to put it. So I'm just looking at this area here near where the van's gonna unload. Unfortunately, we've got a big pile of clay here which we were gonna use in a natural building project which hasn't started yet. That can't really be moved because it's mega heavy. So unfortunately that is in the way, but the rest of this area needs a trim, and then I think we can put a bunch of pallets down and see what kind of area we've got. I also want to take, I also want to take this opportunity to clear up this area near the side of the house. So this is the back of the wood store, that's the side of the house, and it's just horrible that it's become so cluttered. So Mauro has gone out, which is convenient because he's been hanging on to this wood for ages, and I'm going to take the opportunity to sort it all out, figure out what's worth keeping, and try and tidy this area up a little bit as well. Oh. Believe it or not, 5 years later we are still dealing with areas of rubbish and rubble on our land. And in this particular area it was quite hard to trim because there were a lot of things hidden amongst the weeds. This time I did want to try and clean up this area once and for all, so I dragged out anything I could find that was getting in the way. So far this is to go and that's to keep. Is this okay? Like this is mouldy, but you like,
yeah, well, those
you want to keep
that's
these,
very
right?
useful. It's not about having a plan now, it's about having the wood so that you can make a plan for something in the future. This is chunky good wood, like why would you get rid of that? This is really good wood.
Okay, can we get rid of this?
I think we could use that for something.
Okay. Little by little, the area started to look a lot cleaner and we were left with a much more reasonable amount of scrap wood. I don't think this pathway will ever look that attractive no matter how clean we get it, because the concrete is really old and damaged and we'll always be getting little weeds growing through the cracks. One day we would love to pave around here and outside the front of the house and build a lovely pergola out the front too, but for now things were starting to look a little bit better. I had an idea for how to improve things a little bit more, but before we got any further our furniture arrived. Gonna come down that road there any minute now. Maybe he stopped in town for some lunch. Eh?
Wow.
There's a big truck. There it comes.
It come.
Wait.
Why do we even bring some of this stuff? What is that? Glittery lamp. A lamp. After unloading the van, then came the challenge of figuring out where everything was going to live and what we wanted to change in our house. What have you been reading about?
Marvels.
Ah, so you have. I just think it's too big. It's too close to the fire. Maybe, what if if that bookcase wasn't there and it was more in the corner, would it be okay? It's really wide. Do we all fit on this sofa? Is this our new sofa? What do you think?
Una.
Yeah, we've got way too many sofas now. How many sofas have we got in total? We've got 5 now.
But it's not sofas that we bought. Actually,
Sofas just seem to come into our lives
yeah, we
lately.
just say yes to sofas, and then
I think it's because, like, in my life, I've never had the perfect sofa, so I'm always on the lookout for it.
Yeah.
And I actually thought we found it with the last one, but now I think it could be this one. More a booth.
A booth.
Oh no, Toffee's coming. Oh, watch out! So this is the main thing that we wanted. This was probably the main reason we actually got stuff sent over rather than just try to get rid of it and sell it in the UK. This is our futon, which we still love. Well, we still love it. And we thought it would be perfect for the yurt, so it's going in the yurt.
shout out the futon company.
The futon from Futon. If you know Futon, you know.
It's not heavy, it's just awkward.
Alright, I've got a good grip. Okay,
You have no idea how awkward it was to wrap.
I can imagine.
Put that away. Oh, that's futon.
Yeah, this is a bit broken, but it is just the perfect size to fit in a space we've got in the kitchen. And we could really use some drawers in the kitchen. We currently have no drawers, so...
I think we need to rebuild the drawers a bit.
Well, this
The
one
bottoms.
has no bottom, so...
Yeah, I remember throwing it away.
Where are your socks? Where are they? On the sofa, yeah.
Wheels. Adapted to our space.
Yeah.
Like we've been
With rain forecast, we had to get all the yurt furniture inside the yurt before we had a chance to make a start on the flooring. Now we have the rest of the material, this will be the next job we work on, and we can't wait to see how this space looks once it's done and fully furnished. With the furniture mostly all having found a permanent home, either in the house or the yurt, I continued working on the patch of rough ground by the side of the house. Yeah, in this area here in front of the wood store, there's a lot of rubble actually. I mean, there's like bits of old roof tile, plant pot. You can't really see it with everything that's growing, but it is actually like pretty close to the surface. Just trying to take out the bits that are most prominent and sticking out. But I think we can still grow here. I think what I'm going to do is just try and bring as much organic matter and stuff that we've chopped down from the strimming nearby and just bring it all over here and just try and build up a big layer of mulch on top. At least we can see them. There's a bit more. No, that one's covered in ants. So I'm thinking this could be a good spot for the grapefruit tree. Gets a little bit shaded here in winter with the house just there. The grapefruit is the citrus, I believe, that grows tallest out of all of them. We also have 2 limes, and then that's all our current citrus homed somewhere permanent in the land. So we'll worry about the limes later, but the grapefruit I think can go here. This is a walnut tree just over here, so not too close to that. Sort of here. Do you remember that time we got all those free pine clippings? Well, now I had to buy a bag. Guess how much a bag like this costs?
10 euros?
Yeah, 10 euros. Well, we must have got 100 bags like this, at least, for free. So this is my plan to make sure this area doesn't get messy again. I'm just going to put something in the way. Make sure we can't lean stuff up against the wall anymore. I thought 2 would be enough, but I really wish I bought 3 now. We've got another space there. They're not the most attractive pots in the world, but big planters are very expensive. These were $28.50, so that's kind of the cheapest that I could find. And what we're going to plant in here is blueberries. Blueberries like an acidic soil, which we don't have. We have a quite alkali soil actually, so blueberries need to go somewhere where I can modify the soil anyway, so planters. And it's also a shady spot. This is the west side of the house, so it doesn't get any sun until the afternoon. Blueberries don't really mind a bit of shade, so hopefully they'll be alright. If you can think of anything else that would be good here, let me know. Maybe I'll try and grow a rhubarb, which is something we have never managed to grow anywhere else. These 2 specifically were sold as blueberries for warm climates, so we're going to see how these do. And then this is just well, that's the variety. You may have noticed that I've had to buy a fair bit of compost and substrate lately, especially for filling up big spaces like planters, and that's because the unthinkable happened and I actually used up all of my donkey manure. Everything that was already broken down or nearly broken down was used in my new garden expansions. I am currently trying to create a new batch of compost quickly by turning a pile of manure every few days, but that pile isn't ready yet, so we are back to bags, but hopefully that won't be for too long. I also planted a few lettuces I'd grown from seed in the gaps, and there is one big space left in these planters for whatever you guys can suggest for me. All of this is going over here. I then moved back to the rubbly patch on the other side of the path. I wanted to grow something attractive down the edge here just to make the edge look a little bit nicer. The concrete you see emerging on the left hand side of where I'm digging is actually an old water channel, and until last year it actually had water flowing down it into our big deposit. We now have a PVC pipe sitting in the canal instead, which is much lower maintenance, but when the channel was actually carrying water, I never wanted to dig or disturb too much around it because it was pretty old and I didn't want it to break or crumble even more. I worked my way along the side of the channel, pulling out the bigger bits of rubble as I went. Too small. I'm not doing anymore. Yeah. This one. Yeah. It's finally lavender time. There's more in the car. Oh. As you can see, the soil is really sandy and really loose here, which is because of all the rubble that's been in here over time. It's totally different to soil that we have in other areas. And yeah, lavender will grow really well in here. It likes nice sandy, well draining soil. I planted some lavenders about 3 years ago in another area that was very similar kind of soil to this. Another area that probably once upon a time had rubble dumped in it, and they have grown massively and really thrived over the last few years. So I've got 6 plants and hopefully that's enough to, before long, fill out this space. So this one here is a lemon lavender, which I'd never heard of before, but yeah, got 2 of those. And the others, can't remember which varieties they are off the top of my head, but I'll put them on the screen. Got this one, and this one. Alright, we didn't get onto the tree yesterday, so we're going to do that today. Hopefully, won't be too hard to dig through all the rubble. We shall see.
I need some rubble.
Some rubble, yeah. Dig through all the rubble. I'll try and make a really big hole for this tree and give it lots of amendment. A whole bag of worm compost.
Rubble.
I'll put it here. So this is how things are looking now. Things are looking a lot neater around here. The side of the house is looking pretty nice. The lavender bed is looking lovely, and the grapefruit tree is looking pretty small and insignificant, but hopefully it will grow nice and big and beautiful and give us lots of lovely grapefruits, which is Mauro's favourite fruit. Yeah, fingers crossed it does well here. There are still a few things we'd like to do with this area. I'd like to get like a proper pathway down the side of the back of the wood store, if you know what I mean. Just down here, just so that it is nice and tidy and stops getting so overgrown. And yeah, then we've also got this area by the side of the house by the almond tree. There's the almond tree. Still a bit of a mess. That's a project for another day, but for now things are feeling a lot better, so I'm happy with that. And I think that's it for this video, so thank you for watching and we will see you next time.